And we are back for our MLB Best Bets here on Thursday. We've got both game number 4 here of the National League Divisional Series as both the Chicago Cubs and the Philadelphia Phillies have pushed their series to game number 4. Will we get game 5s? We shall see, because of course tomorrow we will have more baseball as well, as the Tigers have forced game 5 in Seattle, Washington, and exactly what we were concerned about with the Mariners has happened. Tarek Skubal in game 5. More on that tomorrow. We can say goodbye to the New York Yankees. I don't have much to say other than you blew it. I don't know. Toronto's a good team, and I think they're in a very good position to go to the World Series. Anyways, though, today is not about the American League. We'll talk a little bit, I think, about the Blue Jays and how they match up with both the Tigers and the Mariners tomorrow. Again, Yankee season is over. It is what it is. Again, Dodgers, Phils, Cubs, Brewers. Can Milwaukee and Los Angeles put their respective opponents away, or will we see game 5s on Saturday? Folks, before we get into the video, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for some more daily MLB Best Bets here on the channel. Again, tomorrow we will have either two or three bets for just the Tigers-Mariners game, so make sure to join us for that. Also on the channel, go make sure to check out our college football predictions. Over 4 hours of college football predictions for week number 7. Also, our week 6 NFL predictions are on the channel as well. On Greedo Plays MMA this week, our UFC Fight Night Rio Oliveira versus Gamrot full card predictions. We'll have our best bets for that fight card later today at noon Pacific. Okay, all that out the way, let's get in now to the first of our 4 best bets. 2 per game. We kick things off with the Dodgers and Phillies. For at 3 o'clock, from Los Angeles, California, Christopher Sanchez takes the bump. See, I didn't entirely know what Rob Thompson was doing in this series, at least with the pitching, and now I get it. Now, there was always the Aaron Nola, bump, but they got over it, and Nola was fine. He actually pitched really well yesterday, and Ranger Suarez was locked down as well. Again, we'll talk more about the entire game in a second. But you go to Christopher Sanchez now in game number 4, and dare I say the Phillies are kind of set up now? I mean, did I not say yesterday, if the Phillies could win game 3, I didn't think they were going to win yesterday, but they did. And sure, they burned Ranger, and my thought process was, okay, they're going to go Nola, Buehler, Stack, or Nola than the bullpen yesterday, and then they're going to try to get Suarez for game 4. Instead, Suarez comes in relief for Nola, gives up a home run in the first pitch to Tommy Edman, but he's fine as the game goes on. Phillies dominate Los Angeles with a huge inning off of Clayton Kershaw. Now you get to go to your ace in game 4. Guys, there's not a better spot you could be in for the Phillies. Well, you could be up, but given the circumstances and losing your first 2 games, this is exactly where you want to be. Sanchez in game 4, and guys, this is nothing against Tyler Glasnow. Glasnow's great. I'd argue he's the worst out of all the starters right now for the Dodgers, which is insane that, yes, Glasnow is number 4 in my opinion, but he is. If I had to rank him, I'd probably go Snell 1, who is likely getting the ball in game 5, or they go Ohtani, but I'd assume Snell is going to be lurking. But I'd say it's Snell, Ohtani, Yoshi, Glasnow. If you count Kershaw, he's 5, but he's a bullpen guy now, right? That's where I'd rank their 4/5 starters. And again, more on the game prediction in a second. But this line's free for me with Christopher Sanchez because, guys, there is no worry about the bullpen coming in. This is your ace. This is the guy who's going to finish, I believe, or got to finish 2nd place in the Cy Young voting in the National League. It's going to go Paul Skeens 1 because he's the best pitcher of the generation and maybe the greatest pitcher we've ever seen. And then Christopher Sanchez 2. Sanchez has been that good this year, and we're looking at straight strikeouts, no problem. He needs to get 6 strikeouts in this game, yet he's done this in every start since September 5th. September 10th against the Mets, 6 innings, 6 Ks. Dodgers in Los Angeles, 7 innings, 6 Ks. Marlins, 7 innings, no runs, 3 hits, 6 Ks. Twins, 5 2/3, 8 strikeouts, and in game 1 of the NLDS, Sanchez goes 5 2/3 and gives up 2 runs. Of course, the Kike Hernandez double and 8 strikeouts for Sanchez as well. Again, it's kind of just what he does. This line feels free to me. The only reason that it's not, if it was 6.5, I'd be a little bit concerned. Guys, this is all Sanchez does is get 6 strikeouts usually, and you can look at his entire season. His floor is 6 strikeouts for a guy who, by the way, was not an all-star in 2025. Really? I mean, it is what it is. Him and Ranger got snubbed, if I'm not mistaken, right? This is the guy who had the 7th most strikeouts in the major leagues this year, and I'm not concerned at all about him getting pulled because why would he get pulled? I mean, There is literally no reason for Christopher Sanchez to get pulled from this game. They don't have anybody else. At least in terms of who can go deep into a game. Sure, again, you have pen guys, and you got bullpen arms like I guess the Tigers did yesterday. I thought it was going to blow up in their face. I'll just be completely honest with you what the Tigers did yesterday, but it worked. You pulled Mize really early, and you have to go to Kyle Finnegan in the 4th and the 5th innings, and, that bases loaded jam is going to come back to haunt the Mariners. I'm just saying. We'll get more on that tomorrow for game number 5 in Seattle. Bases loaded, Victor Robles, double play. Ooh. Finnegan, one hell of a job yesterday. I mean, seriously, the unsung hero, and not even unsung hero, just like the hero of the game, I believe, is Kyle Finnegan. Yeah, Baez, goes yard, and he had the bats come through. No, if Kyle Finnegan doesn't get out that jam, and doesn't get through the 5th inning, yeah, that game's not close. So there's that. But the Phils don't have guys to go to past Sanchez except for their pen arms, and of course we're talking about Strahm, Robertson, Duran. You have Walker Buehler. I don't think they're going to be interested in pitching Walker Buehler in the postseason. Yeah, I mean, it has to be a Christopher Sanchez night. Absolutely has to be. I expect Sanchez to go 7 innings. And I think Sanchez, again, who was very good in game number 1, they pull him early. I think they're going to ride with Sanchez until the wheels fall off tonight. I think they do. And yes, again, I think in a perfect world for the Philadelphia Phillies, Sanchez is going to go 7 innings. Duran's going to get the last 2. That's what they're hoping for. That is what they're hoping for here. We will see if they get it. But I think, again, asking Sanchez to get 6 strikeouts is automatic for me. I mean, Ranger Suarez, I know only had 4 through 5 innings, but Sanchez, again, we're talking about a guy who is one of the best pitchers in baseball. Asking him to get 6 Ks is not a lot. I know, again, great lineup in Los Angeles, but a lefty-heavy lineup at that. Shohei, guys, Ohtani's been horrible in the playoffs. That needs to be said. Ohtani's been god-awful. Freeman, lefty-lefty. I'm not saying Freddie's the biggest strikeout guy, but you can strike him out. I mean, there's matchups that favor Christopher Sanchez in this one, and I believe he's going to go over 5.5 Ks. Christopher Sanchez, minus 135, gets 6 strikeouts. To our next bet, I'm taking the Philadelphia Phillies. So I said it yesterday. I wasn't confident at all, and I wanted to pick Phillies, but I didn't do it, okay? I didn't pick the Phillies to beat the Dodgers. I said if they could win yesterday, they're going to win the series, and I believe they're going to go to the World Series. They got over the hump. They got over the Nola problem, which I thought it was going to be a problem, but I guess it wasn't. I guess it wasn't a problem. Nola goes out there, 2 innings, perfectly fine. And the Ranger Suarez comes out again, gives up the solo shot to Edman to start off his outing. He was perfectly fine after, though. So now we have to go Philadelphia here. Guys, like I said earlier, and I almost slipped earlier saying my pick, and when I was supposed to be talking about just Christopher Sanchez, but I'll say it now. The Phillies are in the perfect spot now. Absolutely perfect spot. They just need a really good game out of Luzardo in Game 5, and we'll get there again when we'll cross that bridge when we get there on Saturday night. But at least in terms of getting the series back to Red October in Philadelphia, you have completely gotten it. They're not losing this game. Yesterday was the game they needed. Guys, when Kyle Schwarber hit that ball 490 feet, they say he hit it 450. That ball is going at least 490. Nobody's telling me otherwise. When Kyle Schwarber pissed on that baseball from Yoshinobu Yamamoto into right field, that is the second the Philadelphia Phillies got back in the series. I mean, they start that game 0 for 9 with a 0 for 10 with the Bryce Harper walk. 0 for 9, I guess, because Harper walked. I mean, you start the game 0 for 9, you're thinking, okay, this is exactly what happened against Blake Snell. No, Schwarber snaps him out of it. Big home run to right field. And then Bryce Harper, base knock, opposite way, Freddie Freeman-esque. And then here comes Alec Boehm, who singles, and obviously Bryce scores on the Pajes error. Boehm goes all the way to third. Brandon Marsh, sack fly, and Phils take that 3-1 lead into the 8th inning, where everyone gets some against Clayton Kershaw. Real Muto with a home run. Trey Turner scores both Kepler and Castellanos. Another home run for Kyle Schwarber. Bryce Harper doubles in the inning as well. Everything came together for the Phillies, again, when Kershaw came in, but that 4th inning was what brought them back after Suarez gives up a home run on the first pitch he throws to Tommy Edman. I mean, they're back in it now, 100%. Guys, I'm very confident they're winning this game. The Dodgers lineup has not been that good. Mookie's been good. Teo's been good. Other than that, Kike's been good. Guys, Ohtani's, what, 1 for 13? In the NLDS, oh, he had some hits in the Reds series. Against Phillies pitching, Ohtani's been shut down, and we saw that going into the series, and that's why I thought the Phillies were always going to be such a problem for the Dodgers, because of the left-handed arms, right? Aaron Nola got out of his one matchup with Ohtani yesterday. Ohtani hits one to left field. And now we look at this. Here comes Christopher Sanchez, who, by the way, dominated Ohtani in game number 1. And that's what needs to be said here. Sanchez was amazing in game 1. It was just a, big double by Kike Hernandez that brought them back in the game. That game is 3-0 Phils, and that's Ohtani pitching. And then obviously the Dodgers work their magic. Guys, I don't think Glasnow's bad. I think Glasnow's 4th best in the rotation, though. I think he is, which really says something and screams to you how good the Dodgers and how much money the Dodgers have spent. I know Glasnow pitched in game number 1 and he, got 5 outs. It is what it is. Again, he got the hold for Roki Sasaki eventually, but he's starting. The last time Tyler Glasnow went deep into a start in a meaningful game, didn't go so well for him against the San Francisco Giants. September 20th at Dodger Stadium, 5 innings, 6 hits, 4 runs. He's going to get strikeouts, but teams are able to get to Tyler Glasnow, and Glasnow, guys, hasn't really seen a good lineup in a minute. Last really good lineup Glasnow faced was in August, the Toronto Blue Jays. Faced off against the Phillies in April. What happened? Yeah, he went 2 innings and gave up 5 runs and walked 5 guys. Sure, it was at the bank, and it was Glasnow's 2nd start of the year, but you got Christopher Sanchez, who's seen a ton of success against the Los Angeles Dodgers this season, and Tyler Glasnow, who in his 1 start got shelled against the Philadelphia Phillies and had no command and no control in his 1 start against the Philadelphia Phillies. And guys, I am waiting for the Bryce Harper home run. It's not a postseason unless Harper goes yard. I'm still waiting for it. And don't get me wrong, Harper had a very good game number 3. It was don't forget about Bryce Harper type performance. Again, all the attention's on Schwarber because it should be, but Bryce is quietly batting .275 in the postseason now too, and I get it's 3 games, and Schwarber's only 2 hits are home runs, but that's just what Kyle Schwarber does. We're still waiting for the big Bryce Harper moment. Here it is. Tyler Glasnow. I'm just saying, this is a very good matchup for the Philadelphia Phillies. It is an amazing matchup. And the fact that they got 12 hits yesterday on the road and the bats finally figured it out. Bohm's hitting well. Bryson Stott's hitting fairly well at the bottom of the lineup. Guys, I thought they were done as soon as Trey Turner squared to bunt in the first at-bat of the game. That scared me. I'm talking like I'm a Phillies fan. Guys, the thing is, I still have some love for Turner, Schwarber, and Harper. That's what it is, But honestly, until I hate the Dodgers more than I hate the Phillies. That's the truth. Like when it's Brewers, Phillies, I don't care. I don't. We're cheering for our bets only, right? But I don't know, man. I think again, guys, we haven't seen the Dodgers bullpen meltdown yet. It's coming. It is. Glasnow's going 6 innings max, and you're gonna need 3 innings out that pen. Sure, okay, Sasaki for the 9th. Who's pitching the 7th and the 8th? Vesia? Jack Dreyer? I'm just saying, man. I think the Dodgers are in trouble now, and I said it yesterday. I did not think the Phillies were going to win yesterday, but they did. Again, I will remain adamant with my point. Phillies win yesterday, they did. They're going to the World Series, and they're probably going to win the World Series. That's how big that game was. And I know, again, my thought process was, okay, get through Nola and then Suarez 4, Sanchez 5. That's fine. And Luzardo, again, is Luzardo on the level of Sanchez and Ranger? No. He'll be fine in Game 5, trust me. He will. Okay, so you get your best guy here, Game 4, to push it back to the bank. I don't think the Phillies lose in Philadelphia 3 straight times. And 23, the Diamondbacks came in there beating back-to-back games. I don't think so. Okay. It needs to be said, the Dodgers are not hitting well. A couple guys have been hitting well. Teo, Kike, Mookie. The rest of the lineup has not been that good, and it all starts with Ohtani. Because obviously, if Ohtani does what Ohtani does, in the regular season, or just, again, what he has done, they're a problem. But great and excellent starting pitching has shut down Shohei Ohtani so far in this postseason. It's only going to continue tonight. Philadelphia Phillies money line, it's great value, man. Plus money for the Phillies. Are we serious? Second best pitcher in the National League going tonight for the Phillies. And they're underdogs after getting the offense back on track yesterday. Yeah, give me Philadelphia. Our third best bet of the day, we go to the night game from Wrigley Field. These games should be flipped, but it is what it is. Why the Dodgers? Why is the game in Los Angeles starting at 3 and the game in Chicago starting at 7 o'clock? Like, could have just flipped them. Chicago could be starting at 5 o'clock out there, and the Dodgers could be starting at 6 o'clock out here on the West Coast. But it's fine. It's okay. Brewers versus Cubs. First best bet is Jackson Chourio over 1.5 total bases. I mean, this feels very automatic. The last time we went to a Milwaukee Brewer for over bags, we got it with Contreras. He hit the big home run in that game, and the Brewers eventually obviously won game number 2. Brewers now on the road. Chicago gets game number 3 yesterday in a tight one. What an outing out of Brad Keller is what I will say. What an outing from that guy, right? And the Cubs early get on Quinn after Frelick, drives in Christian Yelich in the top of the first inning. Michael Busch homers yet again. PCA with I've been going at Pete Crow Armstrong. I cannot lie so far this postseason. PCA's 2 RBI single with 2 outs is absolutely massive. And obviously Cubs don't score after the first inning, but it is what it is. They win the game 4-3. Okay, going Jackson Chourio today. It's hard to bet against a guy who's batting .545 in the postseason. Yeah, that's a real stat. Came into yesterday's game batting .750, I believe, .650. I know yesterday he doesn't clear the total bag mark. He has 1 hit, it's a single. I'd expect more tonight. So here's the thing about this too. The pitching matchup as of midnight has not been determined. I have a pretty good feeling on what it's going to be. I believe it's going to be Matt Boyd versus Freddie Peralta. I don't know who else it would be at this point. Maybe I could see Cubs going opener, but who do you open with? Because everyone's been pitching. It would be Kittredge you'd open with, I would think, right? To avoid some bad matchups with Boyd, but I think they're just going to throw Matt Boyd out there. And if you're the Brewers, who else do you throw? You threw Quintana yesterday. You're not going to throw Miz. It's going to be Peralta. So, and for the Brewers too, you get Shota in Game 5 probably if you don't win today. But you're low-key in trouble if you don't win this one. You should win it, and I'd be surprised. We'll get into that in a second. But assuming it's Peralta, this is your swing for it. Because Brewers will probably go straight pen game in Game 5. Maybe they go pen today, but I'm just assuming they go Peralta. Again, we'll get into the pitching logistics when we get into, obviously, our money line prediction. But if it's Matt Boyd like I'm expecting, all right, let's swing away. Guys, Jackson Chourio doesn't get enough respect. He's 21 years old, and he is already a premier player in the sport. Jackson Chourio, again, is batting. He came into yesterday's playoff game batting .714. He's batting .545 now. Oh, no, after a 144 performance. Brewers just couldn't get enough late. Top of the 8th inning, bases loaded, and again, Brad Keller just escapes out of the jam. That's a tremendous effort. Guys, the Cubs have used their entire pen. And I get it. It's only one game, and most of them can probably pitch tomorrow, but how many guys are backed up? And I get that the Brewers are pretty backed up too, but yeah, Peralta's going tomorrow for the Brewers. More on that later. But if it is Matt Boyd on Jackson Chourio, I'm perfectly fine with this. Not to ruin what I've planned later in the video in about a minute and a half here, but look at what the Brewers did to Matt Boyd in game number 1. Just look at it. He didn't get out the first inning. Cubs got on top first. Again, Michael Busch with a leadoff solo home run like he did yesterday. And then the Brewers proceed to score 6 runs in the first inning. And how does that start, by the way? Yeah, it starts with a Jackson Chourio double. And then later on in the inning, Jackson Chourio, another base knock. And in the second inning, another hit, an infield single. So in 2 innings, he had 3 hits, and he goes 3 for 3 in the game. And by the time the second inning is over, it's already 9-1. And all right, we don't really need you out there anymore. Right? It's hard to pick against this guy, and especially in a matchup that he's already feasted on before. Guys, and this is what's going to come back to bite the Cubs in the ass. We kind of knew it going into the postseason. It's their pitching. Horton's out. Okay, who's your ace? You don't have one. That's something that I've always been kind of critical on the Blue Jays for, I'll be honest, and I still kind of am. Can Gosman and Savage bring you a World Series? I don't know, and trust me, if we get Tigers, Blue Jays, ALCS, I don't know. Sounds like a 5-game win for the Blue Jays, but I don't know. We'll get into that tomorrow. Again, I will really break down everything I think about Blue Jays versus Mariners /Tigers. I don't love Matt Boyd being your ace, and Matt Boyd, again, has had his good parts throughout the season. It's just in the last month, he's been pretty bad. The last 2 months, he's not been an ace-level guy. And you get a guy like Jackson Chourio, who is batting .570 in the postseason, and you get minus 130 odds for him to get 2 bags. Yeah, I'll take that. Probably 2 base knocks is very possible and probably will happen. Another possibility is that he just doubles or homers or triples, right? So I'm going to go Jackson Chourio here, over 1.5 total bases. It's at minus 130. Absolutely love this one for the young rising star for the Brew Crew. Now the money line pick. Again, I might have given this away, but taking the Milwaukee Brewers. We thought the Cubs were going to get 1. The pitching matchup today does not favor them. And I know both the teams had to use their bullpen yesterday, but look how many arms the Cubs had to go to. And the Brewers went through a lot of arms too, but Quintana eats up 3 innings. Anderson eats up 2. Chad Patrick eats up 2. The Cubs yesterday had to pitch Talion for 4 innings. They go to Pomeranz. They go to Gasolina, Palencia, Kittredge, Thielbar, and then Keller for 20 pitches and 4 outs. Sure, can all these guys pitch except for Talion today? Yeah, they can, actually. All these guys can go. It's just back-to-back days. Don't love it. I don't know. And that's why I like the Phillies, too, because Duran did not have to pitch yesterday. Right, that's what you get for getting runs off of Kershaw means, okay, we can avoid having Duran pitch today. Yeah, the Cubs are in trouble. They're in trouble in this spot, especially because of the pitching matchup. Guys, it would not shock me if Kittredge is going to open. We've seen this before. I wouldn't be surprised if that's what they do. But after how bad game 1 was, I mean, how can you think this team's going to win? And if they don't go Boyd, which I'm surprised the Brewers are only minus 120 here, I guess, because the game's at Wrigley, but that just doesn't make sense to me. If you don't go Boyd and you go to a different starting pitcher, who do you go to? I mean, seriously, who else on the roster can pitch today? I'll wait. You're going to start Soroka? I don't think you do. Colin Rie, I guess, could start. Pitched on Monday. I guess he could open, but then you're going to have to go to someone else eventually. Shota can't go. And I assume Shota's your Game 5 guy, at least in the road somewhere in Game 5, whoever you start with. I think you're either opening with Kittredge or just going with Boyd right away. They don't have another option. Again, Soroka is the option, former national starter this season. And Soroka hasn't been bad, but what happened to Soroka in game number 1? Yeah, he went 1 inning and gave up 3 runs and 5 hits. Yeah, you got to go Matt Boyd. It's the unfortunate circumstance the Cubs are in. And again, props to them for getting to the spot with Talion yesterday, but now you got to ask a lot of Matt Boyd on a bullpen that's not that well rested going into this one, and the Milwaukee Brewers are most likely starting Freddie Peralta. And if you're Milwaukee, again, as of midnight, neither team has announced a starter. The last thing coming out of both camps were both Milwaukee and Chicago was that they were going to go over it and talk about it tomorrow morning, or as you're seeing this right now, they're going over it essentially and determining a starter. It has to be Peralta and Boyd. And if you're the Brewers, I mean, you got to end it now. Because, again, if the series goes back to Milwaukee, if it does, and somehow this team loses today with Peralta, I still believe the Brewers are going to win, but I'm not as confident with that. Even though it's going to Milwaukee, I'm not as confident as them winning Game 5, and I know they dominated the Cubs in Milwaukee, but I'm not as confident than right now, especially if you burn Peralta now. If you say Peralta for 5, I mean, you could, but why would you? Because you might as well start Peralta tonight and get a head-on rest, again, going forward, and so he can pitch Game 2, likely, of the National League Championship Series in Milwaukee. So you have to go Peralta here. Peralta in game number 1 was good. I mean, nothing else that can be said about that. Peralta was good in game number 1 for the Brewers. 5 2/3 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, 3 walks, but 9 strikeouts. I mean, Peralta, again, quietly is just one of the best pitchers in baseball every single year. You just don't hear about him because he plays in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. That's the only reason you don't hear about Freddie Peralta all the damn time. He's still very good. And there's a reason why, the mainstream media doesn't talk about baseball, but, that's why the national media and ESPN doesn't really talk about the Brewers, even when they do talk about baseball, because they play in Milwaukee, and they don't have a guy named Giannis Antetokounmpo on their team, obviously, so that's the only reason the Bucks get talked about. I mean, guys, if the Bucks, this is a very quick side note, if the Bucks were just, a team full of guys like the Brewers and a bunch of just, all-around very good team players, and they didn't have a guy like Giannis, which is something that they're going to have to try to be after Giannis leaves, no one would talk about the Bucks, right? Because they just play Milwaukee. It's the unfortunate circumstance for being a team in Wisconsin. And, oh, the Packers. Well, the Packers are a historically great franchise. They're always going to get talked about. The Brewers are very good, and Freddie Peralta is very good. And, yeah, the Brewers had to use a lot of their pen yesterday, but not as much, though. They had Quintana eat 3 innings, which is huge. And, again, you really only had Quintana, Anderson, and Patrick go, and your frontline bullpen guys are still available for this game and haven't even pitched going into this one. The Brewers are going to be okay in this spot, trust me. And we haven't even talked about the lineups yet. Guys, for as great as that victory was for the Cubs yesterday, and don't get me wrong, we picked the Cubs, we bet on the Cubs, they only scored in 1 inning. They are rolling into this game after being shut out for 7 consecutive innings. By Quintana, by Anderson, by Patrick. They haven't scored in 7 innings going into the first inning. Brewers, again, they showed fight. Jake Bauers, surprisingly, was the guy. RBI single in the 4th inning. Solo home run to lead off the top of the 7th inning to cut the lead to 1 run in favor of Chicago. Yeah, this team's in trouble. The Cubs are in trouble in this spot. And I believe it's because of Boyd, too. Guys, I'm not sold on Boyd being a frontline guy because he's not. Because in a perfect world, and nobody's injured, Chicago's going to Cade Horton this game, who is likely going to win the National League Rookie of the Year. It should go to Dalen Lyle, but it's going to go to Cade Horton. Potentially, I think Horton will be available for the NLCS if Chicago can get there, but again, that's a big ask because you're asking them to win back-to-back games. I don't think they'd win Game 5 if we get there, but at the same time, they're not winning tonight. I think the Brewers end this thing. Again, they have the perfect opportunity to do so. Peralta going, and I'm straight up just shocked that the odds are where they're at. And I think the only reason they are where they're at right now is because at least at midnight, there have been no starting pitchers announced, right? So by the time this video is up at 5 o'clock, I don't know where the odds are going to be at. Maybe again until I'd say 7-ish, 8-ish, at least my time out here on the West Coast. That's when the starters will be announced. But I would try to jump on the Brewers as soon as possible because I think once it officially gets announced that, okay, it's Peralta versus Boyd, I expect the Brewers to be at -140. I could be wrong there, but I think it's going to jump that much just because of what happened in game number 1. And, okay, it's at Wrigley this time. Much more hitter-friendly, believe it or not, than Milwaukee. Just because, you can hit a ball 390 feet at center field and it can be a home run. 380 feet at center field and it can be a home run. I think that just favors the Brewers more, though. I get it. You're playing at the friendly confines. You're playing at Wrigleyville. You're playing where the Cubs, again, play 81 games a year, but I got to go with Milwaukee here. Again, the power of friendship Brewers continued to dominate, I think. And yesterday, again, it sucks, but you're right there. Bases loaded spot in the top of the 8th. Okay, tip your cap to Brad Keller. He gets out of the jam. How many more jams are the Cubs going to get out of? And if the Brewers can just put some runs on this team like they did in games 1 and 2, I just don't see it going very well for the Cubs. And again, with Boyd on the mound, I don't think it goes well. Give me the Milwaukee Brewers to get the win here on the road at Wrigley Field at -120 for Freddie Peralta and the Brewers to advance to the NLCS, where they will wait for the winner of the Dodgers and Phillies in game number 5 back at the bank on Saturday. Folks, thank y'all for watching our MLB Best Bets here for game 4 of the NLDS here on Thursday, October 9th. If you have not yet, though, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for more. Make sure to leave a like. If you did enjoy the video, make sure to comment. If you did disagree with any of the picks, we'll be back again tomorrow for Game 5, win or go home in Seattle between the Mariners and the Tigers. Folks, thank y'all for watching, and Mamba forever.